Hello. So here's my lab 8 for this week. And the first thing I was asked to do is use the elbow method to determine the optimal K for K-means. As you can see right here, we're just defining that elbow plot. We go ahead and specify that we're giving it my data set's the bank, so we're going to feed it the bank norms because I normalized um, all those attributes in it. And then just to show you guys, so the things we're taking into consideration, we're trying to determine are the education levels. So we have primary, secondary, and tertiary, and then we're taking into consideration age and balance to try to cluster those. So once we run our elbow plot, we see that our optimal K is 3. So then we specify that it is 3. You could see right here. So 3 clusters, that is. And then we get all of these different groups. Obviously, my data set is very, very big. So there's a lot of different types. A lot of entries just in one cluster. Since they're only divided 3 ways. And then after that, I did the hierarchical clustering. And so here I was just feeding it the bank norm. Once again, like I said, the normalized data for the bank data set. And then here is where we see the relations based on the index number, how they're related to each other. And then at the bottom here, if we want to see how these relate to one another, we can go ahead and do that. I know that they seem like a lot of repeated ones. My data isn't as, I guess, doesn't have the unique attributes like the dog dataset does. It's very small. Mine is just very large, so there's a lot of repeated values. And then in order to plot it, because like I said, I have 4,500 entries, it was very hard for me to plot it, so I just did it, plotted the head to make it small. So here is the plot for the hierarchical clustering. As you could see, tertiary is obviously the most related. And then I was actually surprised because between tertiary being related, you would think that secondary would be most related to it, but actually it seems like primary is. And then over here, I started doing the DB scan. So this is how I set it up, taking balance and age. Um, and then I did have some difficulty plotting this, but like it says right here, if we check how good of a model this is, it says that completeness is only 0.02, so 2%, and homogeneity is only 0.01, so 1%. So I would say that out of all these models, the one that seemed to work the best was our first one, the elbow method to find the optimal K for the K-means, just because it was the most straightforward, and I think it's what worked the best for my data, at least. I think we were also asked a question of what are the number of clusters and how many categories we're taking into consideration. So like I said, mine was education, and we had 3 different levers, primary, secondary, and tertiary, and we ended up seeing that our optimal cluster was equal to 3. I would say that this is not ideal. I would say that typically we'd want less clusters than the number of the unique attributes that we're trying to determine. Yeah, I would have expected it to have been the number of clusters to have been less than 3. But yeah, at least it's not more than 3. Let's see what else there is here. And yeah, so this is my lab 8.